Hello and welcome to Crawley, the town that has been hammered by the pandemic like so many others. It has the second highest level of homelessness in Sussex, and one day centre, which has been open for over 25 years, has seen an increased number of people needing support since March of last year. Pubs too have also had mixed messages across the year on reopening and sudden closures with the lockdown. So what do they make of today's budget measures? Well, with me now is Fundraising and Relationships Manager at Crawley Open House in Wilkins, and Emma Tanner, publican at the New Moon Pub. Hello to you both. Ian, to you first. What measures in the budget might help you?
I think the headline for us is the maintaining of the increase in universal credit. So that £20 a week increase is hugely significant to a lot of the people we deal with. Other than that, there wasn't a huge amount in the budget directly relating to homelessness or charities. But we massively welcome the furlough scheme. You know, a lot of what we're about is preventing homelessness. And if people are still getting some income so that they can still pay their mortgage or their rent, then that has to be good news for the time being.
This area has seen a massive hit because of its proximity to Gatwick Airport. Huge numbers of people on furlough or having to claim unemployment benefits. What changes have you seen in need for your services since the pandemic?
A big increase in the number of food parcels we give out. We're part of the Food Bank partnership here in Crawley. So a significant increase in the number of food parcels, and lots more people asking for advice. Lots of people worried about debt and risk of eviction and how they're going to pay the bills. So we've seen a lot more demand for our advice workers, sadly, and we see no end to that. That's increasing all the time.
And there are fears that with job losses come the loss of homes, and you've got people with you who would have felt they'd been guaranteed a steady income, they'd got a good job,
yes,
and all of a sudden that's been taken away from them.
Yes, we've got several people in the hostel who a year or two ago would have had a house and a wife and a dog and kids at home, and 2 years later they're living in a homeless shelter. We see that sadly all the time, and I think that's our real worry, is when the furlough scheme ends, as it will, what then? What will that really mean to people who possibly already are struggling to keep a roof over their head? That has to translate at some point into difficulties and possibly homelessness. And so we would really hope the government will keep helping us. We have to say the government have been incredibly helpful in lots of ways to us as a charity, and also to the homelessness sector.
Yeah, I mean, there are some positives in some ways to come out of coronavirus, if we can think about it in that way, when it comes to homelessness, getting people off the streets and into temporary accommodation.
A very supportive local council here in Crawley, and they receive money from the government to temporarily accommodate people, and the number of people rough sleeping in Crawley has reduced dramatically. So there are bright spots in amongst the gloom as well, and we would hope that this is a massive opportunity to make a dent into homelessness. So we really hope with the local authority and the government we can make the most of that.
Emma Tanner,